Hello, 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 hello. So first and foremost, thank you for coming today. This is the property panel. Is everyone here for the property panel? All right, this is where things happen. This is where big things can and will happen. We're gonna have a good conversation today, so I'm not gonna do any talking, really. I'm going to hand over to the lovely Anastasia. Everyone give her a round of applause, please.
Thanks, everyone. So good today to see many, many new and familiar faces. And it's even better because it's a Saturday. So that means you guys have shown double the dedication being here on your weekend. You should be out being wild and free, but instead you're here with me. So a big well done to you all. And I'm curious to know where you've come from today. So can I hear hands up from my Londoners, my local Londoners? Come on, how we got? Most of you, okay, good. Let's go a bit up north. Who is from Birmingham? Anyone from Birmingham? There we go. One, whoop, whoop, well done. Anyone further? Gosh, okay, where are you guys from? Scotland. Did you come down today? No. You must have come down last night, right? You could. Okay, and how far away is roughly Scotland? Gosh. Well done. And I know one of our panelists, Sam, where are you from again, remind me? Leeds, and roughly how far away is that? 5 hours. Okay, so Mr. Scotland, you're the winner. Oh, let's head down south a little bit. So Southampton, anyone from Southampton? Yeah, my guy TJ, of course he is. I didn't actually plan that, but of course he is. TJ's from Southampton. Anyone from my neck of the wood, Dorset? We're going down right down south. Dorset? No, of course not. No. Okay, good. Well done, everybody, for attending today on your weekend and investing in yourselves. So I'm Anastasia. I am the CEO and co-founder of Isla. We are the UK's only law firm specializing exclusively in property and finance ILA. So when we started that business 2 years ago, I was laughed at and I was ridiculed. I was told it would never work and it was a stupid idea. 2 years on, I'm stood in front of you here, having opened 7,000 ILA matters. I have a database of 13,500 people in property. And this year we won Best Specialist Finance at the Bridging and Commercial Awards. The reason I'm telling you this is our biggest investment into our business was our network and our knowledge. Those are two things you are all investing in today. So I, first of all, want you to give yourselves a massive round of applause for taking that leap and investing in yourselves. Whoop, 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 whoop. Brilliant. Okay, so your next round of applause, talk about knowledge and experience. We have got the most incredible property panel here for you today. So I want you to turn up that notch just a little bit more, a little bit louder, to welcome all our panelists on stage, please. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Amazing. Thanks, everybody. So what we're going to do is they are going to introduce themselves one by one, and then we're going to start with some questions that I want to ask them that I think will be beneficial for you all to hear today. And then later on, about 30 minutes of that, the last 15 minutes, we'll head over to you guys for some questions. So do think of anything as you're going along that you want to hear from these property pros. So, Lucia, let's start with you. Go first.
Perfect. Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Lucia Piccinini. I'm a chartered architect, a RIBA and ARB registered. And try to guess where I'm from my accent and from my name. I am Italian. And I have been inspired by architects, as Bernini, Borromini, Leonardo da Vinci. And yes, this is what brought me to choose architecture. Who doesn't want to go back to a city like Rome or Florence? You walk through this amazing building, and which one are the fundamental principles to build this kind of architecture? Are a marriage of beauty and technology. And I use the same principle when I created my architecture, my projects. And I studied in Florence. They teach us not only rules, regulation, but also how to create a significant project that lasts forever, that everybody can say, wow, it's amazing, this building. So I studied in Florence. In 2010, I got my master's degree. I started working for other architectural offices, and mainly on a residential mixed-use building and retails. I have built up, working 2 years in Florence and in Milan, a strong relationship with the suppliers, Italian suppliers, that I'm still using now. In 2014, 10 years ago already, I came here just for an English course. It was supposed to be 2 months. And instead, it ended up to be 10 years. So I found an amazing opportunity. I worked with homeowners, landlords, developers, and main contractors. This one gave me the possibility to have experience on all stages of the project, but as well understanding the point of view of each person that is involved in a project. And my main projects were like the new construction of a new residential and mixed-use scheme in Brighton. And it was around 650 flats along with amenities and commercial areas and also offices. And I had a kind of nice, beautiful experience as well to work with a landlord. I was creating for him their development projects and also his amazing villa. So 2 different kind of projects. But the concept was also the same, always the same. Never forget the beauty and the comfortable the space that you can create. So you have to basically understand that a project, sometimes there are a lot of rules and regulations, technical rules that you need to follow, but the principle of a real architecture, what we bring to the project as architects is the fact that we are able to marriage all these things, and we don't forget the beauty and the aesthetical side of a project. At the moment, I'm running my own architectural office. We are specialized in residential mixed-use building and retails. And my principles are always the same. A combination of remarkable, beautiful architecture or interiors, and also I don't forget about the rules, regulation, building regulation as well, and also technology. And on top of this, I bring the Italian flair into each project, thanks to my suppliers that come from Italy. So thank you very much. This is me. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sam, if you can give us a quick intro to you, and then we'll fire over to the questions afterwards where you can tell us all about what it is you do. But just a brief intro would be fantastic. Thank you.
Will do, absolutely. So well done for that, Lucia. I was actually speaking to Lucia and saying architecture, Italian architects are the best architects in the world. So looks like we've got a really good panel. My name is Sam Cook. I'm the owner and editor of Blue Bricks magazine. Blue Bricks is one of the most well-known publications within the property investment sector. So what are we in a nutshell? Oh, we are... I'm not littering on stage, I promise. So we're a magazine for experienced investors and developers, people like you that are giving up your Saturday to grow your network, to grow your knowledge, people that are serious about property. That's who we're for. We interview some of the best people in the industry, people like Hayley Andrews from Sky TV. If you're local to London, you might know Ranjan Bhattacharya, who runs the Baker Street Property Meet. He's been on the front cover. People that have built multi-million-pound property portfolios from nothing. And we interview them not just on their success and their advice for success, but also on the mistakes they made and how they would recommend overcoming those mistakes so that you can't make them yourselves. We believe in giving real content from real people, so all the content is actionable, and it's aimed to help you either make money in property or to save money by learning from other people's mistakes and learning from them projects. In addition to that, we're more than a magazine, we are a national community of property investors. I'll give you an example. This year we ran the Blue Bricks Property Awards. We hired out a castle in Chester. It was absolutely unbelievable. We had a right party. And we had 250 people, the cream of the industry, turn up to that castle. All our awards are based on ethical investing. So we had awards for sustainability, social housing, for community contribution, everyone that was making a positive difference in the industry. Why did we do that? Because landlords and property investors have got a really bad reputation. And the idea was that if we could finally show landlords and investors and developers in a positive light, that it would change the stereotypes about them. After the awards, a lot of the award winners were then shown in local media, local newspapers, in a really good light, showing all the good stuff that they'd done for their community. So it was a massive success. We also run monthly events for our members, free for them. And I'm a bit tired today, so I've had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because yesterday, myself and two of my customers and friends down there, we had a clay pigeon shooting day just south of Birmingham. So we had multi-million-pound property developers there, people that owned manor houses, people that had just started out in property. We all had dinner. We all did some clay pigeon shooting. We had some networking. Hayley Andrews from Sky TV was speaking. And then on the evening, we rounded it off with a VIP mastermind dinner. That was led by a guy from XP Properties, who's got a development pipeline of £28 million. So some real credible, powerful people that are part of that community. So that's all from me, and I'm just passionate about ethics, helping people, building communities, and overall trying to make a positive difference.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Karl, over to you. Really quick intro, and then we'll go through all the questions and we can share everything we know with this fantastic audience. So over to you, Karl. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. My name's Karl Stewart. I'm a qualified accountant by trade, but I'm also a landlord, a property investor. I've built up a small portfolio of houses up north, namely in Wakefield, where I'm an accredited landlord with the council. I've done a variety of different strategies, ranging from single lets, buy-to-let, HMOs, all sorts of strategies. And I've got some future ambitions to get into commercial to residential. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Karl. So just because timekeeping is really important here so that you get to all the other amazing workshops that you need to attend, we've got 15 minutes left for the questions to you guys before we switch on to the audience, because it's really important you get time. And obviously you guys have had a really great opportunity already to introduce more about what you do. So just be mindful of that, because we definitely want to make sure everybody out here gets a chance to ask what they want to ask. So let's head off with Sam. First question. I think we expanded on some of this already, but what is Blue Bricks about? Who is it for? And what does the content cover?
Yeah, so, I mean, like I say, for experienced investors and developers, or at the very least, people that are ambitious and take property seriously. Reason I say that, we don't do get rich quick, we don't do you'll be a millionaire overnight. We're for people that seriously want to grow their wealth in property. What does the content contain? Basically anything that helps grow your wealth in property. A few examples: how do you find investors? How do you raise private finance? How do you find deals that you can buy at a discount? How do you structure your property portfolio tax effectively? How do you pass that property portfolio on to your loved ones tax effectively? How do you manage and deal with difficult tenants? Then we've got stuff like in there like case studies, so you can see how other people are investing.
Brilliant, thank you. And he touched on some important parts there about tax. Later today at 3:30, I believe it is, there is a tax specialist panel. So anybody who is also interested in that, not only reading Sam's publishing, but also listening to that later, make sure you hang around for it. Thank you, Sam. Lucia, what role does an architect play in the design and the construction phase?
So the architect has a central role in both design and construction. Is the architect the go-to person? Is the architect who connects the client with a relevant consultant? Is also the architect who realize and who make real a dream of a potential client. And he has been trained to combine beauty and also technical knowledge, building regulation, and also local authority regulation. He is able to, because of his understanding, he is able to coordinate and also to keep contact with the local authority and with other professionals, and also knows who to call in case the planning requires some particular expert. And also during construction, he is able to do the contract management, the project management, and to keep on track the project from the point of view of the budget, but also of the timeline.
Brilliant, thank you. And for anybody here who's kind of starting out their property journey, and even those who are very well versed, and there's a few of you in this room who are, you run into many instances that are difficult and that you need someone on your team to help you to piece together parts of the project. Karl, you're a property developer and investor, so how did you get into it? And then maybe tell us an example of one of these really difficult things you've overcome that these guys out here might actually face on their journey.
Yeah, so I've been investing now since about 2002 when I bought my first property. And I've always researched how people became really wealthy. And if you kind of look at the rich list, for example, the majority of those wealthy people have all acquired their wealth mainly through property in some respect. Mm-hmm. And so it led me on a bit of a journey. I started to educate myself and get around some fellow investors, started to go to different places, look at different deals. And then from there, I kind of just took a leap of faith, and just started buying properties here and there and then doing different strategies and things like that. In terms of challenges, I've had a variety of challenges. It's definitely not an easy thing to do. But one of the things I really like about property is that it can be very forgiving. What I mean by that is even when I've made mistakes, I've still made money, which has contributed to making my life better and providing financial freedom. So some of those challenges are dealing with neighbors who are just causing a nuisance to my tenants to the point where they want to move out. Dealing with builders who are not really builders, they're thieves really. They just want to rip people off and having to deal with that. But yeah, the challenges are different depending upon what sort of strategy I'm dealing with. But as I say, it can be very, very forgiving if you kind of know what you're doing when you're investing in property.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once you get into entrepreneurship or the property journey, something we like to say in my business is you pay for the lesson, so it costs you, but actually sometimes, so although it's forgiven that you might still make the money, it might be that you paid for that lesson, it cost you £1,000, so later on go and make yourself 10,000. So something to bear in mind, it helps keep you sane. And we spoke about just now, actually there being, seeing online the different methods that are available and how you can get into property. But Sam, obviously your publication is a paper publication. So one of the difficulties with online marketing is we see a lot of kind of the get-rich-quick schemes, which can be very misleading in the industry. So Sam, I'm interested to know your property magazine, why is that different and what, makes information better accessible for everybody?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of information out there that's free online, on YouTube, on Spotify, and on social media. I think the problem is a vast amount of that content is a sales funnel to get you to, pay for online courses and pay for training. And by the way, that's not me saying that courses or training is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you've got to be aware that there is normally a reason behind that. You might get a very small piece of the content. And also when you're looking at anything online, not just property, business, any kind of advice, you have to be really careful about the people that you listen to ensure that you're getting the right information from the right people that have been there, people that do know what they're talking about, because you're investing substantial amounts of wealth into property. If you're going to do it, you need to do it right. At Blue Bricks, we're vetting these people for you. We're going out, we're finding the cream of the industry. We're finding the people that haven't just inherited wealth and then invested it and had an easy ride, but people that have built multi-million-pound portfolios from nothing. I'll give you an example. David Dowbuzz, he was on the front cover this year. He came to England with £300, didn't speak English, came over from Poland and built a multi-million-pound property portfolio in Sheffield through sheer hard work. So it's people like that we're interviewing to really get their advice for success. We're also different because there's no upsell. We are a magazine. We have the events, but that's all. The mastermind was 200 and something pounds, or might have been 300 pounds, but there wasn't a mastermind after that. It was just that evening. So I think when you come to our community and you join us, you're safe. We're here to help you. We're here to contribute you. There's nothing else to sell you. When you're in that door, you're in, and that's it, really.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think that also really highlights the value of in-person networking. So I'm quite big online. I love being online, but equally the way to vet someone is to see them in the flesh. You look them in the eye and see whether they're telling you the truth or not. It's a better way to do so, and that's the importance of events like this and panelists like this. So, Karl, you were saying sometimes builders, thieves is one word to describe what they can do, but not all builders, because some of you might be builders. So any good builders, make sure you go speak to Karl afterwards. But Lucia, it'd be then interesting to know how you, basically the benefits of hiring an architect and how it helps manage those risks, therefore, associated with builders. Would it help with that? Is that something you can get involved with to help manage risks?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's something that we do quite a lot, yes. Because you can have risk in each phase of the project, also before buying a property. And I can give you a couple of examples. For example, one of my clients, it was about to purchase a property, and we went together to see the property. And the property has good potential. The problem it was that for achieving what he wanted in terms of space, he needed to do a real extension of conversion and also an internal refurbishment of the building. And I calculated for them the cost of the project, and the risk it was that it would be too costly for them. So luckily, they didn't buy that property at that time, but they have been able to buy another one a couple of months later. So this one saved them costs. And in this way, they eliminated a few risks. Risk of being in debt because they wouldn't be able to finish the property, or maybe do that in stages, and maybe wouldn't be the best option, and so on. Another, I can say also another experience. The risk it was during construction. The risk was of delaying the project. We provided to the builder all the detailing drawing, a very good builder, to be honest, but unfortunately they got stuck, and the developer called me back, and I went to site. I understood which one would have been the problem, and the risk that he would have faced eventually if not solved straight away. And after that, I studied it. I resolved how to go ahead, and yes, we mitigated the potential risk in this way, and the project, the construction work continued after that without any additional risks.
Brilliant. And I think that's something, from my experience in the industry and knowing many different property professionals and developers and investors, sometimes we try and cut corners to save money, but in the long run, it can cost us more money. So there's a benefit of having that specialist team around you. Although at the start it feels like quite a high outlay, but actually in the long run could avoid us running into these mistakes.
I'd actually like to say, to add to your point, having a team is so important. Having a team of, whether it be an architect, a builder, people in the council, a planning person or whoever, all of that's essential, I've found in my experience. If you're going to be investing like myself, I invest like 300 miles away from where I live. So having a team is essential. And I wouldn't do it without a team because it's too much risk.
Sure. And 300 miles away, okay, can you tell us a bit more about why? Like, what's your strategy there? Is it better return on investment? Let's talk about that a bit. I think people find that interesting.
Yeah, so for me, as I said, when I was first getting started, I'd done a lot of research. And I was always looking for a strategy that would allow me to potentially replace my income and give me financial freedom. And a mentor said to me, sometimes the best fruit is on the furthest branch.
Okay.
And that's something that's always stuck with me, because you can get a much better return for your money typically if you go up north. What I found with a lot of investors, if you want an income strategy, you should be looking further afield, because you're not going to get the sort of returns that we're getting up north down south.
Okay.
And that's what led me to the north, and it's been worth my while. So.
Brilliant. And how many properties have you got up there?
To be honest, I've been selling off a lot, so I've only got a small portfolio now. I've been realising a lot of capital to go and do other things. I mentioned earlier about getting into commercial to residential.
Okay.
So I've been looking to get rid of some of these properties now, because they've provided the income, and then realise some capital. So.
Brilliant. Oh, I love that. Well done. That's good. And I think a lot of you then will take value in understanding where you can invest, or where the best places are to invest, and then the different strategies, which I could start opening up that conversation, because I know, again, from my property investor contacts and friends. It's something everyone's always talking about, like what strategy? And you hear so many different ones now. Like how many R's are there? BRRR, I don't know how many are going on anymore. Like there's so many, right? And I think rather than me opening up that discussion, I think we go out to the audience and start getting some questions from you guys. I'm sure you've got some. Good. Okay, at the front here, go on. Is there someone with a microphone? It's my friend TJ. Thank you. Hello.
Wait. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry. Is it Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. First of all, love your outfit. I really do. Also, loved your episode on Property by Kazi. I literally watched it last night. That's how I discovered you.
Thank
so it's
you.
beautiful actually seeing you here today. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah, my question for you today is for Sam. You said you had monthly events going on. Where are they based? Are they all based in Leeds or are they based around the UK?
Yeah, good question. So we've got 2 monthly events now. We have one in Leeds. We get guest speakers on, like David spoke at the last one who I talked about. But we live stream that because the magazine's national. We're all the way from Cornwall to Glasgow. So we live stream that as well, so you can network online and see the speakers. And then the second monthly event we have is an online webinar where we all get together too. And then the other events we do, like the bigger ones, we move them across the UK. So last night's one was Malvern, which is just south of Birmingham.
Will there be any in London?
Yeah, there will be, because Londoners don't leave London. So I'm bullied by my London audience into doing one down
Don't
here.
think of a big one, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Karl.
Hi.
Interesting story. I just have 2 questions in one, if that's okay. You've said you've tried all sorts of strategies. If you had to do just one strategy, right? What would that be strategy for you? I mean, what would be that strategy? And number 2, if you had to drop a strategy, which of the multitude of strategies you've done would you drop?
That's a good question. I've got to think about that actually, because to be honest, I've utilized different strategies at different stages in the market. So for example, in a downturn, I would be looking to really focus on targeting motivated sellers who might want to sell their properties really cheaply for whatever reason. But then in a growing market, I'll probably look to maybe flip some property and take advantage of a growing market and make some profit that way. So it really depends on the context that we're talking about. In terms of strategies that I drop, again, I wouldn't say that there's a strategy that I drop. I would just say I would try and adapt my strategy for whatever it is that I'm dealing with at the time. But vanilla buy-to-lets have been really good for me. Buying property using what they call as a gold mine ad, for example. You might have seen in a local paper, you get an advert saying we buy property, any price, any condition or whatever. I've utilized stuff like that before. So yeah, that's kind of what I'd say to that. I hope I'm answering your question.
Yeah, we done with that one? Is that it? Or you got next part? That's it. I think this gentleman at the front here, and then we'll head out to the back.
Hi, I got a couple of questions, if I'm allowed. One is for Lucia. Hello. So when you're looking at a development site potential, can you gauge roughly, or what's the best way to gauge if it's going to get the planning permission you want it to get? Is there a way to kind of assess that, kind of desktop-y, or do you think you should pay for appraisal from someone? What do you think?
So first of all, what kind of project is like a rear extension? Is a new construction? It depends.
It'll be to add value. So maybe try and get a new house, convert to flats, add value type project. So you make money out of it. So it's kind of what we're thinking. Yeah.
Well, I would recommend to do this experiment. If you haven't bought yet the building, before doing it, is to do this kind of research before. And first of all, I will look at the local authority rules. I will look, for example, what kind of buildings there are around. If it's a flat, if you are intent to create flats, I will look also at what the the required type of flats are, for example, is a one-bedroom flat, is a two-bedroom flat. This one needs to be combined with what are the requirements of the local authority. And plus, you need to check also at the selling price or rental price. It depends what you want to do. If you keep the building or if you sell it per flats. And after that, when you understood what are the regulations, this is the first step, and then you draw the plans. Let's say you have an office building that you want to convert into residential. And what I normally do, I take in consideration the building regulation. First of all, it's quite important, especially from the point of view of the fire regulation, especially with this new regulation that they come out in 2023 after the Grenfell Tower, so the unfortunate event. And after that, you understand the number of flats you get, and this one is gonna be probably like a simple planning application, no full planning application, just permitted development. And then you analyze eventually if you can add additional floors on top. And so you start with the normal planning, the conversion, and then you add additional floors eventually. And then you calculate the return of the investment. Of course, you need to add and include the cost of the constructions, and then it's pretty. If you create a nice facade, it's also pretty sure that the planners they will also accept the additional 2 floors, for example, if you are going to go for that route.
Thank you for the detailed answer. I think I'll pay you to do that instead. I can ask a second question about tax.
Would you just mind, because I'm conscious of time, so sorry, if we can just get these other 2 gentlemen, I think you both had your hands up, and then we can come back to you if that's okay, and then we can always link up with Lucia afterwards if that's okay. I'm sorry, just conscious of time to go around to everybody.
Hello, Karl, my question is to you. So I've got a team, and we are quite undecided on what strategy to use, and it's either going to make or break the whole thing. So half of us are thinking about buy and rent, which is long term, and the other half is concentrating on how do you call them? Auction properties. You buy and then renovate and sell. What would you recommend if you were starting out right now with all the knowledge you have? What would you go for?
I'd say start with the end in mind. So what I mean by that is I'd ask, what is it that we're trying to achieve? I don't know what it is that you want to achieve, but if you start from that point, there's numerous strategies that will allow you to achieve that. But you've got to be crystal clear on what it is that you want to achieve. And then how many partners are you working with? 4, okay. Yeah, I'd say start with the end in mind. I guess the majority, do you think the majority would rule in that scenario that you're in? Because if that's the case, then once you know what you want, build out your sort of strategy from there. If you want to, like myself, wanting to achieve like income, I would say buy-to-lets, go somewhere up north, allowing your capital to be deployed in various different deals that will help you to get to where you want to get to quicker. But if you want lumps of cash, you might be, like you say, looking at auction, looking at adding value to property and then flipping them on. Or you could even potentially build a portfolio as well by buying an auction. But you really got to be crystal clear on what it is that you want to achieve and then go on from there, I'd say.
Beautiful, thank you. Gentleman here.
Hi, panel. I have a property portfolio of over 100 properties that covers from the Midlands to Glasgow. How can I link with investors so I can show them this type of portfolio?
I'll be interested in having a look, so I'm involved.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it there, thank you.
Yeah.
My question is also for Karl. I was discussing this with a friend earlier. So I think correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you're selling, kind of moving from commercial more into residential. So my question is, with like Renters Reform Bill and things going on with like Section 21 and energy, all the new requirements for landlords, which are potentially kind of squeezing a lot of profit out, what is your approach to that? Do you think it's still a worthwhile, I mean, it's worthwhile investment, but what's your approach essentially to kind of a lot of landlords being squeezed out of the residential kind of market?
I'd say be a very good landlord. If you comply with the regulations, then this is great for us. If you want to follow things as you ought to and do things properly, then these regulations give you an advantage over those landlords who don't want to do things properly and who want to cut corners. In terms of building a portfolio, I wouldn't buy any more property in my personal name. I'd use an SPV, a special purpose vehicle or company, and I would utilize that company in order to grow a portfolio that way, because that way you get around the Section 24 issue. You still can use interest as a deduction from your profit rather than being taxed on all this sort of rental income that you would do if you were buying in your personal name. So there's always a way around it. Again, I think it's just being very, very clear on what it is that you want to achieve and then going on from there. But there's always a way around it. I'd also say, in terms of team, you need to have a good accountant on your team. My accountant, he is a property investor, but he's very specialist. So in terms of all that sort of tax planning and being tax efficient, he's someone who I'd really go to before utilizing any sort of strategies that I might want to use in the future.
Brilliant, and I would just not be doing my business a service if I didn't take the opportunity there. If you go and borrow in the name of a limited company, you'll be asked to get a personal guarantee 99.9% of the times as an investor. To guarantee that in your personal name, you will be asked to get something called ILA, independent legal advice. So something else you'll need in that power team is accountants, lawyers to help with that structure, because it does have different requirements. So I think we've got time, I think the one at the back here, and we might have time for this gentleman here if we're fast, but it might not. So let's see how we go.
Hi, Carl. It's me here.
Hey, hi.
Okay, you said you are up in the north, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I already have a property portfolio, and I'm thinking to expand in the north. So if I come to you, how much is the service charge?
We could work on a case-by-case basis. I'm not actually a sourcer per se, but I'm always open to joint venture opportunities. So we can definitely have a chat about that and try and work something out.
Okay, that's great.
If anyone is interested in investing in the north, a member of the community is with me today, and he does do some sourcing in the north of England as well, so happy to connect you if you come to my store.
Sam's got a stand, so you can go and find him. So, gentlemen here, this is the last question. So thank you so much. Go on, go ahead.
Hi there. This is a question for Lucia. So, obviously, I'm a sourcer, and I sort of package and sell deals and stuff like that. What do you think, as an architect, the impact is on adding nice visuals like CGI and stuff like that to your package deals? Do you think that sort of adds more value to it, or?
Yeah, it definitely adds value, because you show to the potential developer that is going to buy the property you're sourcing, the potential that he can achieve. So you can see straight away, yes, this house, this flat is sellable or rentable. And yeah, definitely, surely, yes?
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody. That was brilliant. So many questions for such a dynamic and interesting panel. So the guys will be hanging around later today, so you can come and find them. I know Sam has a stand, but the two of you, Karl and Lucia, will be hanging around. So do come and ask more questions. But I think we've got another panelist stage up shortly after us, haven't we? We're back to back. So come on up, Anthony, to tell us all. But give all the panelists a round of applause, please. Well done. Thank you.
All right, if we could just give them another round of applause as they make their way from the stage. You're staying here. You're staying. You guys, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, one of the things that we wanted to do today is make sure that we had a diverse set of people. And I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to fully talk about some of the things you do, what you're doing online, because I met Anastasia online, and I'm going to get into why I'm mentioning that. But so what are some of the things that you do, and how have you achieved the level of success that you've achieved so far?
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. It's really kind, and to say the level of success, it's wonderful that it's noticed, but it's been difficult. So one of the things we did is, as I said at the start, we spotted an opportunity in the market. So ILA, independent legal advice, has classically plagued the property and finance industry and been very difficult to find. So what we did is identified that gap in the market and believed in ourselves and stepped into that gap. So within 2 years, the business accelerated from 0 to, I mean, I don't know what level we're at now. I'm barely keeping up, but it's amazing, and that has brought to me opportunities like this. But as part of that, as you mentioned, Anthony, that you met online, and I think you messaged me, Jane, I've been watching your content, so you've been watching me for a while and decided to approach, right? That was it. That's the whole point of it. You have to be out there. It doesn't happen. You can't put one post up and decide that all of a sudden you're given these opportunities. You have to be consistent, and people will be watching you online continually. And when we had our conversation, we spoke, and he'd said, "Oh, do you know what? I really enjoy your energy. Actually, I want you to host the event." And that, I was like, okay, okay, I can do that. And part of that is in what we're doing and why we're doing it is I'm a solicitor by trade, and people nearly fall off their chair when I say that because I don't act nor do I look like one. And that's been difficult to put myself out there online to be different. I post things and I think, oh God, I shouldn't have said that, or I look a certain way, and that's difficult. So in the industry, particularly the legal industry, there's certain image, and the same in the property industry. There's certain things you see online. That's how someone's doing it, and so we should do it the same way. So part of what my mission is to revolutionize. I think that's the right way of saying it. The legal and the property industry, not only through the service, ILA, but for who I stand for and what I stand for, and that's helping entrepreneurs to stand out, be yourselves. I also have quite a deep spiritual practice, so I'm actually flying tomorrow to Mallorca to do my somatic yoga teacher training. That's been a massive toolkit in my growth, so also I'd encourage you to have things for your mindset that help you have a clear vision and understanding where you want to head. I think that's some of it. I think that touches on some of it.
That's great, because I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity, because our original conversation was about being a panelist, and I was like, there's no way, that's too small for you. So, guys, who here is a established professional property portfolio type of person? All right? Who here is just looking to start their journey? All right, so look at the people that had their hands up first, okay? Because one of the things that we have to remember is, as we keep saying in all the communications we've sent out to you, your network is your net worth. Your network truly is your net worth. So connect with each other. Could we put the LinkedIn slide up, please? As I said, I met Anastasia. Karl is a friend of mine, so that's a little bit different. I met Lucia. A lot of the people that are on the panel today, I met them through LinkedIn. And if you were to look at my LinkedIn profile, which will be up shortly, if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see very little activity before November of last year. I would post, I'd never put my face. Like, I'm just so, that's not my thing. I'm old, so I'm like, right? But guys, you gotta do it. You gotta do things online, but you have to be consistent and persistent. Anastasia said something that I see all the time, and it happens in January. Yeah. Everybody's like, I'm gonna get my social media game up right now. January, everybody's on there. They've gone to someone to get the nice photos and know how to structure the post and all of that. February, they're like, I don't have 15,000 followers yet. And they start to get deflated. And then March, April, by May, June, July, only the hardcore are still in there. So I'm saying that to motivate you. If you're doing that right now, keep doing it. There's someone in here, right, that I met, and I'm not going to even look in this person's direction or say the name, but he's hardcore with it. He's hardcore with it. I actually call him sometimes a little bit of a troll, but he's hardcore with it. And you have to, to a degree, you have to be provocative, right? So you have to make people, you have to be Marmite. People either have to love you or hate you, right? And I'm not saying to have a fake persona, but have something that will make people do more than engage with you, but then follow you, and then actually start to do business with you. So we have another session starting shortly. My LinkedIn is there. Please, 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 if you haven't already, connect with me. So the next session is going to be on the 4th floor. There's 2 sessions going on. There's social housing, and then there's commercial and semi-commercial development. Please make sure you get to the 4th floor. These sessions are going to be phenomenal. And while you're going up in the elevator together, or if you're like fit and you're going to take the steps, just talk to each other, connect with each other, link with each other. It can change your life. And thank you, and thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me, everybody.
Thanks. All right, so you can make your way to the 4th floor for the next session, and thank you.